Okay.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, nobody's allowed to be quiet. We have to have maximum enthusiasm, maximum presence and participation. Can I count on that from you guys today?
Oh, you got that.
You got it.
Yes, we're here.
Okay, thank you, Carol. I heard that enthusiastic voice of yours. Thank you. Okay, everybody, welcome to our September 25th meeting. Is it fall yet? Is it officially fall?
Feels like summer.
Yes,
I know.
it is
It's
September
officially
21st.
fall.
On the
Oh,
calendar, it's
going by the
officially
calendar?
fall, and it's just too hot.
Going
I
by the
just wanna
calendar
know-
or the temperature?
Has anybody had a pumpkin latte yet?
No.
Yes, this morning.
Yes.
Oh, who? Okay.
I
Since the
have. I'm
beginning of
Christina.
September.
I'm in the
I love
desert.
pumpkin lattes.
Yeah, I'm in the desert. It's 108 degrees. We're not talking about fall quite yet.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. But you know what? You could always have like a iced pumpkin latte, right, Nikki?
So out here in Riverside County, hi y'all, it's Gina.
Hi, Gina.
As my daughter reminded me on Monday when she came running frantically in my room as we were getting ready to go for school and work, she explained to me it's only fall in the morning time, Mom, because by the time afternoon comes, it's back to summer. So that's how we categorize fall. We are in fall season, but just for the quick hours of the morning time. And then also going back to your question regarding pumpkin spice, I'm guilty as charged. I definitely have indulged in a couple of pumpkin spice lattes, but I will be fully transparent. It is only because my husband forces me to.
Oh, thank you so much, Gina. You're such a delight. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Well, I just want to welcome you. We're going to dive right into the meeting, everybody. So get ready. Let's get to it. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so hopefully everybody, is the roll call in the chat too? Yes, you did put it in there. Okay, Julie put it in the chat. You know, you can go in advance of the meeting, and I did it yesterday just to see, and it worked. So, but if you haven't, please make sure you go ahead and click that link and get yourself signed up, because remember, we have to have a quorum in order to be able to approve action items. So at any rate, here's another favorite part of the agenda that I absolutely love. When I call your name, new members, if you are in the house, can you please say, yes, City of Indio is here. City of Indio, are you here? Okay, well, City of Indio is a new member for the Continuum of Care. Just a participating member, but hopefully 3 consecutive meetings, they will become a voting member. So no City of Indio in the house, but we want to welcome them to the Continuum of Care. How about NIDHCA Riverside San Bernardino counties? Anybody from that organization?
Hi, this is Neha. I'm from RCOE.
Okay, welcome. Okay, how about the Underdog campaign? Anybody? It's another new Continuum of Care member. How about the Rose of Sharon 7? Anybody from that organization? Give a shout out if you're here. How about a Coming of Age to Adulthood? Anybody from that organization? Give us a shout out. Well, it's nice to see new organizations signing up. We always love to see more people. The more representation, the better. And just as a reminder to everybody, it's super easy to become a member. You can sign up to become a member, and then after you complete 3 consecutive meetings, you become a voting member. So welcome to all of you. It looks like, was there a question? Eleno, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. So now that we're members, I'm trying to get ID forms. So can Zuli or whoever is in charge of that, I need to get a letter so that we can send it to the DMV. You know anything about that?
Elena, I think you just need to be listed on our roster. The last I talked to the DMV, in order for them to approve. Yeah.
Because Because I saw our names on the roster, so I'll just send that back. Thank you.
And if you have any problems, let us know and we can give you something more official.
Perfect. Thank you, Emma.
Nice
You're
job,
welcome.
Emma. Thank you. Kishana, did you have a question on this agenda item? No?
I was muted there for a minute, if you guys can hear me now.
Yes.
I know myself and Melissa, this is our first time attending this meeting. We're with the Illumination Foundation, so I just wanted to say that.
Oh, nice. I think you're on the list of members, if I recall, but Zuli can check for you. And if you're not, you could just keep in contact with us, coc@rivco.org. We can make sure to get Illumination Foundation on the list. I know of your organization really well, and I know you guys are doing some really cool stuff across the state, and even I think in the city of Riverside, if I'm not mistaken, with recuperative care. Is that correct?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And
Yeah.
we are on the roll call list. I did see that. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right, you're welcome. Okay, any other, Ernesto, did you have a question about this agenda item?
No, not about the agenda item. I was basically inquiring the same thing. I don't know if last time I was not a member, but that was many meetings ago, so I was just checking to see if that changed.
So those of you, Zuli, if you can just in the chat put there you go. She's saying you can email me at coc@rivco.org, all of you, to see that in the chat there. And if you want follow-up information about either being a member or voting member, just go ahead and email her and she'll get you all situated, okay?
Thank you.
That sound good? You're very welcome. Okay, let's see if there's any more. Cheese Boy, is that correct?
Yes, I just apologize. For some reason, my company email for my nonprofit Healing Compassion, it doesn't work with Teams, so I have to use my personal email. I don't know if that affects my roll call.
So normally for to be a participant, you have to have there's a letter that's designated for who represents the organization. So if you email Zuli, she'll show you what letter needs to be filled out, and then your organization can appoint you. I don't think it's a matter of how you participate through Teams, but just that you have an official letter that designates who's the primary and secondary person for the organization. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yeah, I'm the appointed. So I should be fine then.
Okay. All right. We ready to move on to, did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. So let's go ahead and move to the next agenda item. Are we ready for the consent item, Suli?
Yes, actually, we have 39 people on our roll call.
So we have a quorum.
Yes.
Oh, you guys. That's like a high five, double five. Usually we have to skip over it. Good job, everybody, getting it filled out so quickly. Thank you so much. And hello, Ben Howdigi. Nice to see you. Okay, so regarding consent item number 2, it's time for us to consider approval of the August 21st Continuum of Care meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the August 21st minutes?
Motion to approve.
Okay, who was that?
Yes, Chris. This is Chris at Path of Life.
Oh, hey, thank you, Chris. Do I have a second?
I can second it. This is Sonia with the Llamas Housing.
Oh, sorry.
Say it again.
This is Sonia Llamas with the Llamas Housing Project. I'll move to second.
Thank you. Do I have any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, the item passes. Let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. Okay, at this time, members may address the continuum of care on items that are not on the agenda. You have up to 3 minutes to give public comment. Zuli, did we receive any written public comments?
We did not receive any.
Okay, Hearing no comments received, do we have any verbal comments? It looks like our vice chair has a public comment. Michelle?
Just a public, just an announcement for RUHS. They're holding the Recovery Happens at Fairmount Park tomorrow from 11:30 to 4:30. And so it's kind of a day of celebration where there's resources and support focused on effective treatments for individuals with behavioral health and substance use disorders. So if you're in the area, please feel free to drop by. They're going to have food, refreshments, music, and entertainment. And they're going to have some children activities there as well. So we're looking forward to RUHS being in our city and providing that great event.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else have any public comments?
You know
You
what? This
guys
is
are all-
Sonia Lamas again.
Yeah, hi, Sonia. Let's hear it.
Sorry. Hi. Okay, so I'm going to kind of piggyback off of that because I'm helping another organization here in the San Jacinto Valley. It's the Happier Life Project, and they're also a recovery organization. So I'm actually doing all their production. It's going to be held on Sunday as well. For those of you in the San Jacinto Valley, if you guys would like to come out and support, we are going to be doing a recovery walk as well. And it takes place from 9 o'clock in the morning to 1 p.m. at Valley Wide on Esplanade. I can send the flyer to the COC email. Maybe we can distribute it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any public comments? Okay, let's go ahead and move to the next agenda item. Okay, leadership spotlight, one of my favorite things to do. As you know, we take time every Continuum of Care meeting to spotlight amazing leaders out there doing incredible work in our region of Riverside County. And this month, I asked Nicole Murray, who's the Executive Director of US Vets, to be our leadership spotlight. I want to tell you a little bit about her and read her bio. It says that Nicole Starks Murray is a proven visionary and strategic leader. She is the executive director for US Vets Inland Empire, the nation's largest nonprofit provider of housing and comprehensive services to veterans and their families. Nicole has over, are you guys ready? 33 years of executive management experience working primarily for nonprofits, but also has background in profit and public organizations that have a mission to support underserved populations. In her professional journey, Nicole has had the opportunity to combine her love for people and community engagement to see real impacts in the world around us. She has worked in her career to support initiatives that not only move the needle, I love it, Nicole, but strengthen communities that help empower the people in those communities to thrive, nurture, grow, and become the change they want to see. And here's a little bit about her personally. She is happily married 27 years this year. Congratulations. And is a mom of 5 children and a GMOD of 5 grandkids under 6. Holy moly. She is the daughter of a Navy service officer, and her true desire is to ensure that these skills God has blessed her with translate into real impact and change in our world. Throughout her life, Nicole has dedicated herself to community service and believing that each person has the potential to make a difference. She has actively participated in various charitable organizations focusing on children, family, and those with disabilities and dually diagnosed veterans. Wow. Nicole, so excited to hear your presentation. Take it away.
Wow, so this is the happy place. I cannot come on here and be a Debbie Downer when you have Karen Roper at the head of the Smile Committee. Hello, everyone. Thank you so very much for that opportunity and this opportunity to just share what we're doing here in the Inland Empire. So I've timed myself because I know we have a time limit here, and so I want to get going. So you can go to the next slide. So I'm Nicole Murray, and I work for US Vets, and I'm the executive director for the US Vets Inland Empire. And this year we did something new. We always had our regular mission and visions and things of that nature, but we cut it down to some specifics. And I'm really proud of kind of where we came to the carve, because our mission is to prevent and end veteran homelessness period. Like we can talk about the other stuff, but that is what we're here to do. And people say, oh my gosh, well, if you end veteran homelessness, what are you all going to do? There's so much more to do. If we got to be out of a job because we're ending uh, uh, veterans who are experiencing homelessness, if we're ending that, that's okay. Let's just all find another gig. But this for us is the whole reason. There's so many prevention services. There's so much housing, if you could see behind me, and that's permanent housing. So much more we can be doing than pulling our veteran men and women off the streets. So yeah, we that's the whole thing, and I was glad we were able to pull out some of those words and get to it. And so we empower veterans and families through housing, comprehensive services, and advocacy. Go to the next one. So just a very quick slew of our beginning. We started in 1993 in our inaugural site in Inglewood. Then we started opening sites across California and United States. Inland Empire was open 2003. Um, we now have 13 service sites across the United States and in Guam, and we're entertaining 3 more right now. So we're really growing in service across the nation. We want to be in every state that has veterans so that we can make sure that we can service them. We are the largest nonprofit provider servicing veterans and their families only. Okay, you go to the next slide. So these are just kind of a highlight of the program services we provide. We do housing and housing prevention, and rapid rehousing, outreach, family services, something wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I don't know, a few years ago, I think I was on the COC and we were talking about senior services and how we just don't have a lot of that really geared towards veterans. Well, we now have a senior service and it's a pilot program, but we already know that it's going to translate into a solid program and solid resources for this region to ensure that we can take care of our veteran seniors. So we're really excited about that. So that's a new programming that we've been doing, but we have employment and training, referrals and linkages, mental health services and transportation assistance, just the whole gamut to help in supporting a veteran and their family in their journey. Okay, next. Next slide. Okay. So I wanted to do something very different. And I know you guys see SSVF like, what? A prevention service. Yeah, we really want to push the prevention services. You would hear your teacher or your doctor say, ounce of prevention really is a lifetime of health. That's what we're trying to do. If we can get in front of some of the situations relative to those that we're serving, I think we'll have better outcomes long range. And so we have SSVF services. We have veteran food and resource closet. We have what is called an outside the wire, which is going into our colleges and connecting with our veterans there. We have women on point. Women veteran are hid, like they're the most hidden group of people that you'll ever find. You'll never know if they're homeless. You'll never know if they have needs. You have to kind of go scoop them out. And so we have those services as well. Suicide prevention, which is so important to be a subset of prevention services. Uh-oh. Well, I know what we provide anyway. Keep going. Next service. Okay. So our workforce and career services. We have homeless veteran reintegration program that just is, taking a veteran and that have come right off the street, hasn't been in any kind of work for a while and getting them prepared, ready, and some of those starter jobs. And then we have career development initiatives that really say, where are you in your your work? Where are you in your professional segment? We don't just serve veterans experiencing homelessness. I want you to know we serve all veterans and their families. They can be in any space in any place and need the service, and we'll be there for them. So let's go to the next one. This is our senior service. It's called Veteran Support to Self-Reliance. It's through CalVets. And what we're finding is that our aged seniors, 55 and plus, um, they need some additional support and they want to stay home. They want to stay in their places. They don't want to go to respite care. They don't want to go to supportive living spaces. So we have this program where we can bring those services to them. And what we see is that it actually helps them to be more viable, more successful in their senior life. We have occupational therapy, we have medical support, we have eviction prevention, anything that they need through here to age well at home. And, people should have the choice to stay home and age if they want to with those supports. Next slide. So our housing, this is really what I want to get through with my 3 minutes. So we have a housing crisis here in California, probably across the nation. The thing that breaks my heart the most is when I hear people say, I was born here in California, but I can't afford to live here. And then when we hear our veterans saying, we've applied for places, but we've had some issues. We don't make so much money. They're not even in the running to get a spot. It's like, what are we going to do with people who need housing? And so we have had to come up with a whole segmented amount of housing types to get our veterans through the process and to ensure that they can be supported in housing. Next slide. I got my 2 minute, 42 minutes, and we're going to go fast. This is March Veterans Village. March Veterans Village is right here in Riverside. We're in the outskirts of the March Air Reserve Base. And at this location, we are able to house 153. And what we're doing is this, I'll show it to you on a slide later. It's just this progressive housing type. And we want to be the landlords because we want to be the ones to say yes to veterans who need housing. So next slide. 153 units on here. This is our new program that's coming. This is Comfort Homes. So right on this campus that I just showed you prior to now, you have we're building. So we understand that we need to be master leaseholders. We understood that we wanted to be landlords because we wanted to say yes. We wanted to set the standard. And well, here we are. This is our next level living for veterans that are progressing through the process. Maybe you were in shared housing. Now you can look out the front window and say, I desire to be in independent housing. And guess what? We're building some so that we can say, you're right. You should be able to be in independent housing. That's what these comfort homes are. 44 individual homes. They are not tiny homes, which means they will not be destroyed in two years. These are freestanding, all the amenities, 502 square feet, individual homes, and then we'll have a multifamily unit right in the middle with studio apartments, and it's going to provide an additional 116 units to this campus here. Next one. I don't know where my time is. 48 minutes. Okay, this is East Street. East Street, San Bernardino, we're coming for you. I know we in Riverside, we're at the Riverside COC, but y'all need to know about all the housing, right? We're building simultaneously with our comfort homes and with this one in San Bernardino. This is going to provide another 37 units, 9 one-bedrooms, 21 two-bedrooms, just for veterans and their families, right in the city of San Bernardino. Okay, let's go. Next one. 16 minutes. Right after that, we're going to be on 17th and D. And we have a plot of land. We're already in pre-development. We're getting ready to build some more housing in San Bernardino. That one will provide an additional 24 units, 25 units in the city of San Bernardino. Flash, because I'm out of time. I'm like 0. On the journey, I just wanted you all to know that veterans housing, we wanted to put housing first. We all do housing first models, but with that, we wrap around services that make them successful in their journey. And so you just don't have to be in shared housing. You just don't have to be in emergency housing, but you can be in permanent housing when when you're being processed through US vets. Next one, next one. I think that's it. You can fly through that. We have a few events. I'll put it in the chat so I won't demise the time that we have here, but we have some events coming up. Be a partner. Come and help with us. Come and share with us. Come and connect with us. If you feel that veterans services are important to you, we welcome your partnership. We welcome your volunteerism. We welcome you to come and help us do this work because it is so important here in Riverside County. And I think I have one more left, but you can fly through that. Thank you so much for the opportunity to give this presentation.
Nice job.
Wow.
All I can say is wow, wow, wow. All right. So let's go ahead and take some questions. Michelle, what are your questions or comments?
Yeah, Nicole, great presentation. Amazing work that you and your team's doing. On the comfort homes, are those manufactured, stick built? Would you be willing to share with who the, if it is manufactured, who the provider is, so that some people that want to get into the space have maybe a product they might want to be looking at and consider in their own community?
Yes. So yes, they are manufactured, and I'll plug some of that information in the chat because I want to be mindful of the information. I think I know the name, but yes, they are manufactured homes. They were pre-built. We did have so our multifamily unit that's going to be our studios will be brick and mortar. And then the comfort homes are manufactured, but they're a little different in that the foundation that is supporting this, it has solar. We've boofed them up a little bit. Our poor little manufacturer in the building is like, we can't do that. We like, we need to do that. So yes, they are prefabbed. They'll be dropped, but we're actually starting the brick and mortar first before we do the prefab. So I will give that information out of just where we're connected to get those in for the COC. I'll put it in chat.
Very nice. Okay, Candace.
I was just wondering if, so I'm from the desert. So if we have a homeless veteran out here who's willing to relocate, how quickly could they move in to either transitional housing or some kind of housing with you guys?
So, to transfer anyone to our organization to be screened and set up for services is like free of charge, right? You send them over. Timing, I will tell you that because of the housing crunch, we stay 95 to 100% full. That's why we're building. But that doesn't mean anything. When you send a veteran our way, we screen them, we see what the situations are. There is attrition. So our 90-day program, people are only there for 90 days. They got to go after that, which means they got to be ready for the next level living, the next level housing. So we bring a veteran in and they'll be housed. They will get the services that they need, even if it doesn't, if it's not on our campus.
So they can get in right away.
They can get in right away if they're screened, and we do have particularly openings. And we usually do. Like we're in between, our list tends to be long, but we're screening every day, people coming in. Like we don't wait. Housing is important. And so if they're able to wait for some of the things that's coming, they do get on a prioritized list. And they're looked at as well when those openings are there. So pretty quick if we have the openings. But like I said, we have partners. We're not trying to just house people in our projects if we can't. We want to see you housed. So wherever we're going to link you, we're going to get you the services you need when you come through.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the one and only Monique. Let's hear it.
Thank you. I just want to say, wow, like what an amazing presentation. Like I love your energy. I love your enthusiasm. Love everything about everything that you said. And one of the things that really piqued my interest was you said the keywords of master leasing. So I would definitely love to chit chat with you more about your guys' master leasing program and how you guys are working that out.
Absolutely. I'll put my information, well, you have it here, but I welcome a conversation, anything that I could share or collaborate with you on. We're absolutely open to do that.
Wonderful. Okay,
Mhm.
Benjamin, did you have a question?
I did. Benjamin Schuler from the Hole in the Wall Inc. Drop-In Center in Moreno Valley. Great presentation, Nicole. My question is, we are a homeless drop-in center, so we get vets sometimes straight off the street. Sometimes they don't have ID, sometimes they do. What are the requirements coming straight off the street with no identification to get into your program for vet? What does he need?
So the first thing is to get them in the hands of our outreach workers who will, because a lot of times that is the real situation. They don't have IDs, they haven't been service linked, and we're connected to the VA. So the first thing is first, they would need to come in, be screened. What we do screen for is where the barriers are, what the shortcomings are, what the things that they need to get linked, what are the documentation they need to get started so that they can be connected to their benefits and things of that nature. So there is a screening tool, and it's pretty long because it covers mental health, it covers barriers, it covers background, it covers income, it covers everything. But what I would ask you to do, and what I will put out here, is to connect that veteran with our outreach. Our outreach is timely. They're not short this is all they do all day long. They're in encampments, they go to stores, we get phone calls, and they're like, we had a developer doing some stuff in San Bernardino and said, hey, we have a veteran out here. Is there anything you can do? And my outreach workers were out in the field going to see what was going on with that veteran. So we're real intentional because that's all we serve. So, I mean, we might as well be, um, you know, intentional about this. So please get in contact with us. If you have veterans coming through, let us screen them and see what they need and get them on to their next space and place. We'll definitely do that.
Great.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Lee, you're up.
Thank you. There you go. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Nicole, that was a fantastic presentation. Lee Vandenbosch, I am with Starting Over Inc. here in Riverside. I did have a question for you about whether or not you accept formerly incarcerated veterans as well.
Again, we don't have a prereq to what happened to you prior to, but we do screen them for all things. So having a record doesn't preclude you from getting services through our organization, but it will map you into the right places that you can get services, not just in our realm, but in all the linkages that they would need to be supported to. So it's not a no because you have a prior record.
Okay, then
Incarceration.
my follow-up to that is, does that include 290s?
So we every veteran is presented differently. So if some programs, because there are some programs that will not, meaning the comprehensive services that we provide will not allow for that part of it, but some things we can align with. So I still would say we have to get in, we have to see what the circumstance is for the veteran. There are also advocacy layers that we have, that some of our veterans have come with some situations that we've been able to advocate and mediate with our partners and with the VA on some of the situations. So it's a situation by situation, but we will never reject them. If we can't provide them with certain particular services, we link them to where they can get those services.
And Lee, thank you. Lee, thank you, and the whole Starting Over organization that continue to carry the torch for reentry and doing what we can to address those really tough issues. It's important that we talk about the things that are tough to talk about And that is clearly
Thank you.
one of them. So thank you so much. And Nicole, thank you.
You're
It was
welcome.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah, great. You know, like each case is different. So, okay, so Kishana, did you have a question?
I'm not too sure if I heard one of the other gentlemen ask, but I know they were asking about the documents. So let's say if the vet, if they don't have access or do not have a copy of their W-214, is that something that you guys are able to assist them with getting as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we assist them with any documentation that they're going to need to present to either the VA. A lot of them don't have driver's license. A lot of them don't have their VA documentation. So yes, we're connected to the VA. We have liaisons there. We help them with that paperwork. We balance things out and make sure that they can get what they need to present their documentation so that they can be service linked. So yes, we do. We do help with all of that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Nicole, one question I wanted to ask you before we move to the next agenda item. This amazing, robust system that you have. Congratulations on your leadership and the team that you have doing all these great things. And I know you mentioned you have a lot of partners. Why don't you tell us just really quickly some of the biggest barriers or challenges, even with all of these things that you have, that our veterans are facing, so that we can be educated. And if there's something you want to ask us of what we can do better to help you, please let us know.
Absolutely. So I think the biggest barrier, one of our biggest barriers and drivers here to the demise of some of our veterans, military men and women, is access to the resources that they are entitled to. The systems, you know, I stopped saying systems are broke, but I think they need to be have better bandwidths. Sometimes veterans come into our organizations and they have started their paperwork and it has gotten way too much. So one of the biggest barriers is the systems that they have to be connected to get those services. And so what we've tried to do is mitigate that. You know, we'll do paperwork. We'll connect with our liaisons. We don't just tell them to go down there. We walk them in, we hand them over. We call our people and say that we're coming. Like, we try to move some of those. So I think that's a big barrier. Sometimes they have been on the street because they're like, I'm done with the paperwork. I just can't. I've already submitted it. They've rejected it, or maybe, and that's just not the VA. So I don't want the VA to feel like this is a bad conversation on them. I understand that the systems have to, our coordinated entry systems, you have to make sure you have certain things. Some homeless people have said, well, we don't have a location. You got to have a location of homelessness when it's time for the homeless person to come. So some of our systems have to be expanded. Some of our rules and regulations have to be pulled down to the person. I am hoping that Riverside, and I think you guys have done this as a COC, I am hoping that we can do assimilation of what a homeless anybody has to go through to get services. And I think that's going to help us as legislators. It's going to help us as leaders. It's going to help us as workers be a little more advocatory on every level. Those who we're asking to lead us in our nation, that we need to demand that these systems work, because we have them. They want the outcomes when the grants come down. I'm sorry, I'm going there. But it's just the grants and everything, we have to adhere to that. But how are we going to get to those outcomes if the bandwidth of the systems don't really serve who we're trying to serve? So I think that's the biggest challenge in just trying to get people served, is our systems.
Well said. All right. Well, good job. Congratulations. Let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. John Horn, we moved you up. We know you have an important, exciting meeting that follows the cool conference that the team just went to, right, for BitFocus. We're excited to hear what Gordon and Home Connect, all you guys, like Monique is smiling. You guys got some cool stuff I know you're going to be sharing with us. We can't wait. So John, we know you got a meeting to attend. Let's hear your coordinated entry update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am ready. All right, so I'll be giving the update for CES. We're going to go over data trends, identified areas of improvement, also go over like our CES partnership meeting, our case conferencing, and council and community member CES recommendations. Next slide, please. All right, so these are our stats for the month of August. Our current trends with Home Connect calls, we're around 1,443 calls. We see 978 consumers on the community queue. We have 144 open home connections. 27 were housed in the month of August. Areas with the highest numbers of residents on the community queue. The first one is Riverside. They have 340 people out of the 978. Indio has 135 and Palm Springs has 101. Next slide, please. So CES areas of improvement, we have identified several areas. Ongoing training will improve data and quality efficiency. If you would like to come to any CES trainings or you would need a personal training, feel free to reach out to homeconnect@ruhealth.org and we can go ahead and schedule you a training either for your whole staff or for you personally. We've also identified many open home connections with minimal streamlining. So what we have did is we have partnered with the Housing Authority and we are now holding bi-weekly meetings talking about the open home connections. If Housing Authority needs any type of documentation or anything from you, this could all be done with Housing Authority in a call now bi-weekly. We started this month and it has become a good success, enough so that we were doing it bi-weekly because we started monthly. But after that first meeting, we're like, oh, we should do this bi-weekly. So here we are, and this is what we're doing to try to improve CES. Next slide, please. Next, this is our case conferencing form. If you would like to case conference one of your clients, we can go ahead and send that form out to you. You would just fill this out and we'll go over your client's case during our monthly CES case conferencing meeting. And you could reach out to homeconnect@ruhealth.org to get this document. Next, please. And of course, we're always looking for presenters. And if you would like to present in our CES Community Partnership meeting, we are currently scheduling for the year of 2025. We are booked up for the rest of this year. So if you would like to present, please feel free to reach out to us again at homeconnect@ruhealth.org. Next slide, please. And recommendations. If you guys have any recommendations or anything you would like us to look into or any feedback, please reach out to us and let myself know. And of course, our wonderful Monique know. We are here to accommodate you guys any way we can and try to make this whole process better. Next slide, please. And it looks like that is it for me. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
So Ayako asked the same question I asked you earlier today, John. It looks like Emma jumped in about VI SPDAT and prioritization for coordinated entry. So looks like Emma typed it in, but do you want to hit on that real quick since it might help the others?
Yes, absolutely. So with the VI SPDAT, I know we are working on with the consulting team. They're currently going through our data. We will be changing that. I don't have a date or a time for that. So once we know more, we'll of course let you guys know. So yes, we are still currently keeping the VI SPDAT, but in the future it should be changing. For prioritizations with CES, we have updated that process a little bit. That's where the case conferencing comes from during our CES meeting. So that would be your first step. Next, you can fill out the prioritization form. If we couldn't make any types of connections or couldn't get any community feedback for your client, from there, then it'll get reviewed by a council and they will determine if the client is approved or not, with notes and maybe suggestions for that client.
Does that mean, and I don't know if this is a Monique question or you, but kind of the transition that we're moving to. Is it going to give case managers more discretion? Because sometimes we know clients are a little bit reluctant to always talk about addiction, a lot of the barriers, and sometimes it takes a long time. And you know darn well that they're like way high up there and the score should be thus and so. Is it going to lean? Can you tell? Do you have more details about how that's going to impact that dynamic?
I can speak to that a little bit. So yeah, the structure that we're going with is going to be extremely data driven and resource utilization driven. So because we do know that a lot of times clients are not super honest with us right away because we're still trying to build that rapport and that trust, right? But if they don't tell us that they've been to ETS 10 times in the last 3 months, they don't want to tell us that information. But as a county, we have that information. So we're building a tool that will be driven through that utilization. So we will be looking into how many times they've gone to the ER, the ED, how many times they've gone to ETS, how many behavioral health clinics they've attended, any crisis stabilization units they've attended. So that way we can get a true picture for what somebody's true vulnerabilities are. And so we will be working with a consultant to really hone that tool so that way we can get their true vulnerabilities, and also still working on a tool for those individuals who are brand new to our county. So we will still need a way to gauge those new individuals to our county, or we don't have as much information on them. But essentially, it'll be very, very service driven.
Great. Good response. Mr. Walsh, did you have a comment or a question?
Yeah, and I would say everyone on this call knows substantially more about the ins and outs of all the things VI SPDAT than I do. But I just wanted to share with the group. I was at a conference this morning in Los Angeles where people were bemoaning the use of the CES process, and it was largely affordable housing developers and how they couldn't ever get referrals, and the referrals people would fall back in the homeless very quickly because they weren't ready. And I think it's a testimony to this collective group, particularly Monique and John and the folks over that are running the CES for our county, and the quality work that you all do. And I haven't heard that from any of the affordable housing developers we work with or owners, and I think it's seen in the 86% success rate of people that don't fall back in the homelessness within 3%. So I would just wanted to say that you guys are doing a really good job, and it was always nice to brag to our friends in Los Angeles about why it's better to be in Riverside than Los Angeles. So I just wanted to share that with you all. You guys are doing a great work, and whatever technical fixes you need to make, we're all on a journey to Emmaus, and so we'll fix them along the way.
Couldn't agree more. And one thing that I will add is, and all the way rah to the Home Connect coordinated entry team, but I also know that Emma and Tanya and some of the other folks on your team are massively involved in the details and doing everything they can to provide that technical policy, everything support. So I just want to thank you all very much. Good work on everybody's part. So, okay, let's see. Let's go to the next agenda item. New business. All right. Let's go to okay, so agenda item 5.1, airport fire and homeless coordination. Miss Gina, nice to have you today. Let's hear it.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so very much for having me. I am extremely excited to present to you all about the great work that we were able to complete and accomplish in these last 2 weeks. Before I get into that, if you do not know me, hi, my name is Gina. I am with Riverside County's Housing Authority, and I am the supervisor for the special programs team here. So we do a variety of things, mostly known for programs related to HCV with a little bit of outreach. So I was put in the position to help coordinate the housing support in regards to the airport fire and homeless coordination. So one thing that I want to start off with saying is that we never hope for any sort of state of an emergency to happen. And now that this is in the past, we can look back and say, we came and we conquered. We came, saw, and conquered. So now that we have lived through this emergency, I am very pleased to just say that in the event that something should happen, knock on wood that it doesn't, but in the event that something should happen in the future, I know with 100% confidence, because it was never questionable before, but now that we definitely endured this, I know with 110% confidence confidence that our community, Riverside County to be specific, will come together to help the masses. So segueing into what did we do? So from September 10th through September 18th, we were in a state of an emergency. So what we did was we gathered all of the community agencies together to come and assist. So we definitely wanted to prioritize unsheltered and sheltered populations during this emergency and their needs. So we had a call to all agencies in the county, please come help. So I'm really glad to report to you all here that we had over 25 different agencies assist. And what that assisting looks like is every single day we would get together and we would have a daily call. It would be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes in which we would overview the fire. So we would look at the areas of burn. We would look at where is it safe to, potentially get our outreach teams to be staged at in order to assist. We reviewed the daily emergency shelter bed count every day. So that way we could see, if we have a need, where can we coordinate these services, most importantly, in an efficient and simple manner, because we also wanted to take note that these individuals are already enduring trauma. So we need to make sure that we as agencies have very tight-knit communication and streamlined services. So that was a huge piece to our effort. In addition to that, we would review on a daily basis the needs of the outreach teams, as well as case conferencing clients that were impacted. We did case conference, unfortunately, quite a few clients who were impacted, but I can assure you that through the coordination of this, their needs have been met. Outside of that, I think one of the things that allowed us to be so efficient in responding to the airport fire was the technology that we were able to utilize in coordinating this. So we utilized an app, if you will, called Watch Duty. So I just want to give a shout out to the team for whoever's beautiful brain helped put that together, because it quite literally was an overlay of the map of the fire, and it showed us how we could navigate in real time. So that was a really, really cool thing to see and to be a part of and to utilize live in time. Another thing that is important to highlight is that one of the outreach teams that was local to the area that was impacted by the fire, they were able to identify that one of the big needs of the community was getting Narcan and getting like fentanyl testing strips. So unfortunately, the population in that community that was impacted, there is a large number of individuals who are utilizing substances. And we are so glad to know that they were able to entrust in our outreach teams to be open about their concerns and their needs. And as a result, we came and we delivered. So we were able to make sure that they got the Narcan, they got the fentanyl strips. In addition to that, we were able to service hygiene kits, of course, clothing. We were able to coordinate food. We were able to coordinate, of course, emergency shelter. So it was all in all, not the best of times, but then also in the same breath, the best of times as far as what we were able to do and show to the community, hey, when an emergency happens, it's okay. We will be here to support you all. So outside of that, I would say I was really excited to be a part of this. Once we were able to, not we, because we didn't do the fire fighting, so to speak, but once we were able to continue observing the fire and we watched it come down to a percentage that was maintained, we then, of course, pivoted our efforts and our goals and motivations for what do we need to do now. So at the beginning of the fire, it was a lot of supporting, let's figure out who needs help, and then getting them coordinated to the services. Then after the fire was more contained, we then noticed that the community that was largely impacted was actually homeowners and individuals of that sort. So we were able to, with the coordination, of course, all different team members, coordinate a LAC event that occurred from like a Thursday through a Sunday. So an insane amount of people was supported and helped through that venture. So that is another good thing to report. And then before I continue, I do see Tanya, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo Gina's sentiments. Good afternoon, everybody. Tanya Torno, Deputy Director with Riverside County's Housing and Workforce Solutions. And I wanted to just acknowledge all of you, all of the teams who were quick to jump on a coordination call the moment that we learned about the fire. And we're so quick to share resources and connect us with your teams to make sure that we could quickly coordinate care. Our plan, as Gina very well emphasized, is to make sure that we continue these types of planning efforts at all emergency, future emergency events. And we certainly have done this in the past. We've worked with many of you during Hurricane Hillary last fall. And so just know that this process has been formalized and is very much embedded in our processes and our culture, so that as the need arises, we know how to quickly assemble. And so we just want to thank you for continuing to remain available. In many cases, all of you, all of us are acting above and beyond our contractual obligations when these things happen, because we recognize the importance of saving human life. And so to that end, we are forever grateful, and that's why this work is so important. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Tanya. Emma, I saw that your hand went up too.
Yes, I wanted to just give a shout out to a couple of our NGO organizations, particularly Albert, the Step Up Team, Albert, Christina, and their teams that were out, boots on the ground, assisting with transporting individuals to the evacuation center, going out and doing outreach, distributing the care kits, the Narcan, the strips, the testing strips. Also, Wayne and the Healthcare and Action team were alongside them, also doing outreach and assisting and just being able, willing, and ready to support. The behavioral health team, of course, Kimmy, John, all of them just at a moment's notice assisting with last minute requests. And also Anne and Project Touch in the city of Murrieta for being so willing to assist and support. So I wanted to just give a shout out to those individuals and everyone else, as Tanya mentioned, that also supported, but especially those individuals who played such a critical role in helping us to make sure that we reached our unsheltered community that was affected quickly and efficiently. So thank you.
I agree. Tanya, Emma, you all said it perfectly. I agree. And thank you, everyone. I think another important contributor to note is that when we did this call, we of course were focusing on outreach and housing support, but we also included other agencies of specialty. That way we brought all of the experts to the table. And a good example of that would be public health. Public health came out and they were able to safely inform us what should we do in regards to the conditions of the air quality. So not only did they, they came in and they helped educate our outreach, our teams that were boots on the ground on how they could be safe, but then also distributed that information to the community members, and then was able to educate our staff enough to where we were able to then echo that to the community, so that on a larger scale, the information was definitely being communicated to the masses. But outside of that, that is everything that I have to highlight about the airport fire and the homeless coordination. Again, just wanting to end it with, I am so incredibly proud to be a part of this, to be a part of you all. It literally brings joy to my heart to know that when something horrible happens, it will be okay, because I have you all.
Nice job. Thank you so much. Okay.
Amen.
Let's go ahead and move to the next agenda item. Okay, we have the 23-24 Continuum of Care Impact Report. Salam, we're so excited to hear about the data in our region.
Everyone. My name is Salam Walker. I am the GIS Research Specialist 2 and Data Lead for Riverside County Continuum of Care. I'm excited to be here today to present our Homeless Impact Report for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. Over the past few months, we've been working closely with our partnering agencies to to improve data quality as part of our ongoing efforts. This has been essential in making sure the data we report is not only accurate, but also truly reflects the incredible work you've all been doing. Thanks to your dedication and hard work, we finalized the data, and I'm excited to share the results with you today. In this presentation, I will provide an update on the progress we made in assisting individuals and households experiencing homelessness, highlight the impact of our programs, and share the progress towards the goals outlined in our 5-year homeless action plan. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so before we get started, I would like to share a key achievement that demonstrates the success of our collective efforts. Riverside County currently has the lowest per capita homeless rate among all counties in the state, despite having one of the largest populations, and even when compared to other large regions. This accomplishment is a testament to the effectiveness of our strategies and the outstanding work by all of our partnering agency, but also the full continuum of services being provided to develop affordable housing, expand access to healthcare, mental health and recovery treatment services, and facilitating employment opportunities, and doing more in reaching to people who are exiting our jails. So this is a huge achievement. So we wanted to share that. During this last fiscal year, your teams have provided over 30,000 services across our 226 programs. These services reached 18,339 unduplicated individuals and over 14,000 households. This represents a 6% increase in the number of people we've been able to serve in comparison to last year, demonstrating the need for us to continue doing more. And by more, we need more housing, more services, more housing first. So it's important to note that the growth rate has slowed down compared to the previous year, where we saw a 26% increase. So this year is just 6% increase, so that the growth rate has declined. In addition, we have secured housing for 5,711 individuals, bringing the total number of people housed during this reporting period to 7,307. These placements represent new move-ins and those who were placed into housing prior to the reporting period and are actively receiving housing services. Next slide. Thank you. All right, so this slide provides a breakdown of outcomes of each of our project types. We're going to start with our outreach program. The street outreach program have engaged with 6,038 individuals, meeting them where they're at, providing case management by connecting them to the necessary services and pathways to housing. I'm also excited to share that we've seen an increase in successful housing placements through the street outreach program of a 4% increase, showing improved outcomes. So we do thank you for having your teams build housing case management plans as they engage people on the street. And the data shows that it is working. Across our emergency shelter projects, we've served 5,669 individuals, and 37% of the households who exited the program were placed into permanent housing. Compared to the previous year, we've seen an increase in successful placement of 262 more individuals this year, contributing to a higher success rate. In transitional housing, we assisted 1,144 households with 79% successfully housed upon exit. This reflects a positive outcome in transitioning individuals from temporary housing to more permanent solutions. In our permanent housing programs, we continue to see strong successes in exiting individuals to permanent housing. In our permanent supportive housing programs, we achieved a 96% success rate in moving new people into housing and keeping them housed. In our rapid rehousing program, we have seen an 80% successful exit, quickly stabilizing individuals into permanent homes, all while transitioning off people off subsidy so that they ultimately absorb 100% of the rent. In our homeless prevention program, we provided assistance to 873 households, preventing new entries into homelessness. Lastly, our service-only programs, which focus on providing case management, food, education, mental health, and other supportive services without housing component, assisted 843 unduplicated individuals this year. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so in our 5-year homeless action plan, we established clear benchmarks to track our progress across 6 key goals. I'm going to go over each of them. Our first goal is to ensure that more people exit homelessness and enter housing each month than the number of people who become newly homeless. I'm very proud to highlight that this year we housed 1,426 more individuals than those entering shelters or being engaged by street outreach teams. This means that our inflow into permanent housing has exceeded this means that our outflow into permanent housing has exceeded the inflow into individuals entering homelessness, which is a critical measure of our success in reducing homelessness and preventing further growth in our homeless population. Our second goal is to reduce the length of stay for individuals experiencing homelessness by 50%. So far, we have achieved 24% reduction for clients' length of stay in an emergency shelter, street outreach, and transitional housing programs, which means we are on track to meet our target. For the third goal, we aim to reduce the number of people entering unsheltered, the number of people experiencing unsheltered homelessness after discharge from institutional settings, such as jails and hospitals, by 50%. Our focus is to ensure that fewer individuals are discharged from these settings and re-enter homeless system. So I'm pleased to report that we made a significant progress, achieving a 36% reduction this year. So we are on track to meet our target goal. Our fourth goal is to increase the number of crisis housing beds by 25%. And our fifth goal is to increase the number of permanent housing units by 75%. I'm pleased to share that we are on track to meet both of these goals, with new units currently being built and an increase in utilization of our crisis beds during the reporting period when compared to the previous year. Lastly, our sixth goal is to reduce the number of people experiencing for the first time by 75%. While this goal is still in progress, we've seen a 2% decrease so far, and we continue to focus on implementing preventive measures. And this is going to be the hardest one to tackle, and it's simply because of our population size in Riverside County has doubled in the last decade and is expected to continue growing. Additionally, seniors are expected to be the fastest growing population in our region, with high costs as they are, and most seniors being on some type of fixed income we will need to, remain aggressive in our approach to build more affordable housing to stop the inflow. I just wanted to say thank you to each of we want to say thank you to each of you, our providers, the county departments, the cities who continue to invest their own resources to respond to homelessness. This concludes my update. So I'm available to answer any questions. Thank you. I'll pass it back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Wow, I don't even know where we should begin. That was absolutely amazing. I hope you all are super excited to see where we started with the development of the homeless action plan and our goal to be very data driven. We should be all doing backflips right now, you guys. This is absolutely over the top amazing in terms of the progress. So I hope you guys can get excited about this. I don't even know where to begin except to say good job, Salam, and to the whole team. I love the graphics. I think these are some powerful data tools that I hope, Tanya, I know we're going to be talking about the point in time count. And I've mentioned this to you, but I want to publicly say it to everybody else. The HMIS data is a much more accurate representation of what is going on across the system. And when we get ready to release the results of the PIT, I hope that we can do a side-by-side that doesn't just show sheltered and unsheltered, but shows the real numbers from HMIS, because I think we need to do more educating, especially to the cities across the region who often might hang their hat on the unsheltered count. So this is so powerful in so many ways across the system. I just want to tell you guys, congratulations on the great work. Tanya?
Yes, I just wanted to add and really to connect the dots with Nicole's comments earlier about our need to advocate for additional funding, that all of the CARES and COVID relief funding that we received has really allowed us to scale up our programs. And we are truly thankful because having received, it was $33 million in state emergency solutions grant coronavirus funding, really allowed us to work with each of your agencies, cities. We're at the table to build our capacity in all different interventions, right? We had new shelters, beds that came on board. We had rental assistance programs and street outreach teams that have continued. Street medicine, which never existed before, is now at the table. And we have really been aggressive in pursuing all funding opportunities because we don't want to scale down. As Salam noted, our progress is due to being able to scale up the number of programs that we have, and that is successful programs that we have that have shown when street outreach teams and emergency shelters have tools and places to put people in, permanent supportive housing and rapid rehousing works. 86% success rate to 96% rate when you're looking at permanent supportive housing. So we need to do what we can, and part of why we wanted to share this information with the Continuum of Care is you guys are the voice. You are influencers in your community, in your cities, to share that our programs work. The data does not lie. These are numbers that we're tracking on an annual basis, which I want to thank Michelle Davis, our COC chair. She hit me up and said, hey, we need to give an update. We need to know where we're at. And so I thank you, Michelle, for your patience, because we wanted to wait till the end of the fiscal year to really analyze those numbers. So our progress is good, yes. It speaks to housing works, but we need to maintain these funding levels. We need to make sure that Riverside County continues to get its fair share, or these numbers will start going the other way. So please continue to do your part, educate council members, state, federal representatives, all your county leaders on why these programs matter, and we need to stay. So great job, guys. Again, this is reflective of all the work that you guys are doing.
Any other comments or questions about the presentation? I will just add one more thing. It's really nice to have a data focus on all of the results. a lot of times we hear all of the data about all of the people that are unserved and all of the gaps, and this is so positive. It's such a great message. Thank you guys again. Okay, next agenda item.
And you're going to hear from me again on now the homeless point in time count. So I will be brief with my introduction, and we'll play a short video that we prepared for you. But we are very much preparing for the 2025 homeless point in time count that is scheduled for Wednesday, January 22nd, and will be conducted throughout that entire day. For the upcoming count, we are looking at combining our general count and youth count now that we have our youth housing assistance providers and street outreach teams who are launching their efforts as part of our youth homelessness demonstration program. Again, that federal funding resource that we received last year, and will allow us to intensify and really maximize the number of resources we have to identify young adults while we're doing our general count. The upcoming count will also include a No Veteran Left Behind initiative, which we have done consistently every time we have facilitated a count, and creates a direct door so that any veteran who is identified on the day of the count can be navigated to an access center where we will have social workers from the VA, housing specialists from our housing authority, partners from US Vets and Lighthouse Social Services, and our behavioral health team and other teams. We want everybody here, so if you want to be a part of this, we want to include you to ensure that those veterans have a direct door to housing. Additionally, as in previous years, we want to make sure that this year's count is inclusive of the entire county. So we have already reached out to all cities and informed all district offices of what is to come. So if we advance to the next slide, as Karen mentioned, the point in time count is really intended to provide a snapshot of who is experiencing homelessness in our community. It is not by any means a tool that we use to get a full census of who is experiencing homelessness. We know that in just comparing the number of people that are identified during the point in time count in 2023, we had 3,700. And as Salam shared during our impact report, we had over 18,000 people coming through our system of care in 1 year. So if you're looking at what the real need is, you'll want to take the point in time count number and multiply that by 5 to 6 times at least. But nonetheless, it is a good tool that is used both on a federal and state and local level to look at trends over time, and also who is experiencing homelessness in the community. We get really good demographic data and learn about how people ended up in the situation that they're in. As in previous years, we are going to be recruiting volunteers to help us count and connect with people who are experiencing unsheltered homelessness. And we're also going to be very strategic, as we have been, to coordinate with placing your teams at all of the different, or spreading you guys out throughout the different regions in the county, so that we have experts with full knowledge and cultural sensitivity, persons with lived experience on the ground that can help each deployment site complete a successful count. So we thank you, and we encourage you to continue spreading that message to your teams. If we advance to the next slide, then here is where we're going to show a short video of our last count that we did.
we have to take care of everybody in our society. And a lot of these are overlooked. A lot of these people need these services. It's going to be a great, not only time to present them with those services, but as accurate as count as we can so that we put those services to the right areas. It's going to be very, very important for them.
This illustrates the huge need, especially right out here in Moreno Valley, to be able to count and get the necessary resources to the place that we need them the most.
It's imperative that we include these individuals in the count so that the community can come together and acknowledge homelessness as an issue in our county.
Well, all the cities in Riverside County are involved, obviously the county resources, but also a lot of community volunteers. You know, there's a lot of people that have the passion to help and to be involved. And so that to me is what's rewarding, and I just really like to see the community take action.
Primarily, we go out really early because we want to capture folks before they get on about their day, and usually that's around 6 o'clock in the morning when you'll start seeing individuals leave their locations. We've done a lot of pre-work to make sure that we're going to the right places.
So we have this year over 700 volunteers, and we cannot thank them enough for signing up to volunteer for this day, because without our volunteers, this will not be successful, because we do not have the capacity to be here on this one day to count every homeless individual that we have living on our streets.
I'm really proud of all the individuals who are out here from the county working, from our city partners, from our law enforcement partners, our code enforcement, animal services. But I'm most impressed with the almost 800 volunteers that are out here helping with this project.
So the interview itself is just basic questions of how long they've been here, what's going on in their situation that has caused them to be here in the first place. And it's just building that quick rapport that you have to do to get their trust.
It's amazing to see how much we can get together and work together and collaborate and work with people, work with each other on offering services and connecting with them in that way.
I mean, I just kind of lost my breath when you said $200 million has gone to rental assistance. And these are people who would be on the streets or facing evictions. How many, is it 50, you said 15,000 families have been helped by rental assistance through this program?
I think it's incredibly important that we were able to assist those families and keep the rental market stable locally.
We do this ideally every year. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do it last year because of COVID, but the reason we do this is not only to get a sense of how many homeless individuals are not only in Palm Springs, but throughout Riverside County, but more importantly, it helps us access resources from both the federal and state government. It also gives us a really good idea of certain demographics that we need to address, whether they're seniors, whether they're youth, whether they have mental health issues and substance use issues. So it is a really critical part of our overall homelessness continuum of care in the county.
Thank you. So we hope you will consider volunteering for the count, and that you will let us know of any groups where we can go to recruit additional volunteers. We very much want to get out in the community, and you'll be seeing more press releases in the upcoming weeks. But we need everyone's help to make this a successful count. I'm going to hand it over to Emma, who's going to give us a few more updates before we wrap this topic up.
Thank you, Tanya. And in case you don't know what the point in time count is, despite the video and Tanya's explanation, the homeless point in time count is a literal count of all persons experiencing homelessness in our county. As Tanya mentioned, it is meant to be a snapshot and not a census. In Riverside County, we use a service-based count conducted on a single day in the early morning. The peak count is conducted by every community during the last 10 days of January, at minimum every other year. The video that you saw was actually from our 2022 point in time count. You may have noticed some folks wearing masks, and that's the reason. It is important to note that the count is not, again, not meant to be a census, but rather a snapshot in time. Next slide, please. So why does the pit count take place during the last 10 days of January? Well, conducting the count at the same time nationwide ensures consistency and accurate trend monitoring. In the colder months, more homeless individuals seek shelter, making them easier to count. Additionally, doing the count, at the end of the month helps capture those who may only afford temporary housing earlier in the month, such as motels paid for with public benefits received at the beginning of the month. Next slide, please. The point in time count data is important. The data is essential for securing federal funding for homeless programs and also for shaping strategies to end homelessness nationwide, but most important to us in our community. It plays a key role in the COC program competition, the annual competition that is currently open, with HUD emphasizing the importance of both the data and its collection process. Additionally, the state of California also rely on this data for funding allocations and also tracks national and local progress in preventing and ending homelessness. Next slide, please. So you might be wondering who is counted in the pit count. HUD has a definition of homelessness for the purpose of the pit count, and it includes two main types of homelessness: unsheltered and sheltered individuals. Unsheltered individuals are defined as individuals or families whose primary nighttime residence is a public place not meant for human habitation. For our sheltered count, we have a current list of shelters across Riverside County, but we want to have as comprehensive as a count as possible. I noted in the chat that, for example, Joy, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but she listed that she has a transitional housing project in the city of Hemet. I made note of that, and I sent it over to our team who is going to be conducting the shelter count. But if you are a nonprofit organization that has beds, emergency shelter, transitional housing beds in the county, and you are not receiving county funding, we would love to know of your existence and get your information so that we can include that in our shelter count. And next slide, please. All right, so the 2025 PIT planning activities. Community planning is imperative to the success of the point in time count. For this reason, the COC will be hosting monthly meetings, and our first official kickoff meeting is going to be on October 29th at 3 p.m. This information will be going out to the COC as a whole with an appointment to make sure that everyone is in attendance. Additionally, the COC will continue planning activities for the count, which will include publicity campaigns, volunteer recruitment and training, mapping areas to be counting, and planning our specialty counts, such as our service-based count, our youth count, and our unincorporated area count. To accomplish this feat, we need support and collaboration from all of our 28 cities, all of our county partners and community partners, including NGOs and faith-based organizations. If you are interested in participating in any of these groups, please email coc@rivco.org and let us know, and we would be delighted to include you in our planning effort. And I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to present to you. And if you have any questions, again, please feel free to email us at coc@rivco.org. Thank you.
I know we have a couple questions, so we'll go to the Cheese Boy.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to know what statistics that you guys showed with the unduplicated count. Are you guys able to share that data with us?
Yes, we can. give us a few days just to put that into like a document form, and we will share that report with the entire continuum of care. Great idea.
Thank you so much.
Michelle?
Hi, when you talk about emergency shelter and transitional housing, are we also including recuperative care? Okay, we'll make sure that the ones in Riverside are added on that list.
Yes, I know Illumination Foundation captures or uses HMIS, but absolutely, if there are other, as Emma mentioned, other beds out there that are not utilizing HMIS, we are very much interested in gathering all that data and accounting for all those persons in our report.
Okay, we'll send you the information for Helping Hearts.
A great question. Anybody else? Miss Emma and Tanya, thank you for not just the presentation, but we know that this monumental workload is layered on top of all of the other things you guys do. You guys are superheroes. I don't know how you juggle it all, but we love you guys and we thank you for all that you do to serve our county. Let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. Standing agenda items. So let's go to the first one. Oh, Miss Emma, Continuum of Care Lead Agency update. You're on deck again.
Thank you. This one's going to be quick and painless. Next slide, please. We just wanted to announce that we have 2 bids open for our homeless housing assistance and prevention program. The HAP funding is available for agencies providing immediate street outreach, emergency shelter, rental assistance, and rapid rehousing, service coordination, and diversion services to individuals experiencing homelessness. Funding for HAP Round 3, Riverside Continuum of Care allocation is $469,269.76. And there's also some Round 4 funding included there of $4,099,350.17. And if you don't want to have to remember those amounts, you can find the RFP on our website, and we will drop the link in the chat in just a moment. And you can read all of the details about the RFP. The closing date for the RFP is October 9th at 1:30. So do not delay in downloading those documents and reading through the application if you are interested in applying. The other opportunity, and we actually had the pre-bid meeting today at 1 p.m., is the COC builds. This is new funding coming under the HUD COC umbrella. The Riverside County Continuum of Care is eligible to apply for up to $7.5 million in funding and an additional $2 million set aside for COCs with units located on a tribal reservation or trust lands under the HUD COC builds competition. The projects selected through this RFP will be evaluated, ranked, and approved by the COC Board of Governance for inclusion in the Riverside County COC build competition application. So the process mirrors that of the annual HUD COC funding in terms of review, ranking, and developing that list that the Board of Governance approves to submit for consideration. For this NOFO, the following will be considered for funding: new permanent supportive housing units, which must include a capital cost budget for new construction, acquisition, or rehabilitation. The application may request no more than 20% of an award for eligible activities and costs associated with new PSH projects, and there is a 10% administrative cost cap. Excuse me, I lost my words for a second. HUD has expressed a preference for projects that are currently in construction. It's not explicitly listed in the NOFO, but if you watch the webinar and you listen to the feedback that is provided, HUD is really expressing a preference for projects that are already in construction phases. This is going to be a highly competitive application. We don't know that Riverside County is going to be awarded, so we want to make sure that whatever projects are included in our application are as competitive as possible. This information is all listed on our COC website. Just as I mentioned with the HAP funding, the COC builds notice, RFP, webinar, presentation are all listed on our website under the open bids link. So if you have any questions, I will pause for that. And otherwise, thank you for the opportunity to provide the update.
Do we have any questions or comments for Ms. Emma? Okay, well, I know you guys, those of you that are applying are furiously completing that paperwork. So let's think good thoughts and say a big prayer that we can get that money into the region. Let's believe that this competitive NOFO that we can be successful. Oh, Kishana, did you have a question?
Yes. Yes, for the HAP grants, though, is the application already closed for that? Just double checking, because I seen it said September 16th, correct?
That was the opening, I think. If you go
Okay.
back, Zuli, on the slides, the HAP grant opens September 9th and closes October 9th. The COC builds open September 16th and closes October 14th.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you
You're
for the
welcome.
clarification.
Yes, and just as a reminder, everybody, all of these slides are always in the Google Docs Drive that is linked into the meeting notice. So you will always have these materials that you can download for your personal reference. Okay, next agenda item.
I have a.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Ms. Karen?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. I do have a quick question. Okay, so for the build, the bill, what's it called? Let me see here.
The COC bill.
The COC bill grant. Yes, thank you. Okay,
You're
so
welcome.
when I went through it, it said that, thank you. It was we could only apply for like 20% of it or something like that of the funding that's available.
It's
Is that correct?
20% for it's 20% of the award for COC program eligible activities and 10% for admin costs. So supportive services, basically. And there is, there is a CFR code listed on the RFP and the NOFO that you can click on, and it'll give you a list of all of the COC program eligible activities.
Wonderful. Okay,
but it's,
you got it.
It's
Thank you very much.
essentially the same ones under the regular HUD COC program.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And that's pretty awesome because for years, the big challenge was getting the supportive services funded, right? So to be able to have that as a component of funding is terrific. That's really awesome.
Right.
Oh, and shameless plug, if your agency is not going to submit an application and you have experience with these sorts of projects, we are looking for independent review panel members. So please email us if you're interested in participating in that. I am going to be reaching out to some of you guys, even though you don't reach out to me. So just FYI.
And good question. Collaboration is definitely welcomed and probably encouraged, correct?
Antonia, you're one of them that I already put on the list. So if you're not
You're
going to
awesome.
apply.
I'll be on standby. No worries.
And I hope Ayoko's on here too. She's the other one that I sent over to one of the staff members. I also, Tanya sent me a message here. I hadn't included this, but we did receive word. I think I mentioned the Proposition 47 funding, I don't know, like probably 4 or 5 COC meetings ago. But the Continuum of Care had submitted an application for this funding. It's specific for individuals that are either currently or formerly justice involved who have a severe mental illness and or substance use disorder. We submitted an application to support an expansion and continuation of our street medicine and included some additional elements to provide linkages to transitional housing, detox and recovery beds. And so we did receive a word that our project is going to be recommended for funding. It's going before the state board on October 3rd. And the staff tell me that I was reluctant to announce it because like that whole, saying, don't count your chickens before the eggs hatch or however you say it. But the staff at the state did say that usually all of the awards are approved as recommended by staff. So, barring anything crazy happening, we will be expecting $8 million from that funding, which will go through 4 years. And Health in Action, who is our street medicine awarded vendor, was included as part of that. And I know that they had received letters of support from Lighthouse and Starting Over. And so, we will begin engaging all of the different partners and bringing everyone in for planning. There is sort of I forget what they call it, but it's similar to like the community, oh my gosh, the CCP, the community plan that we had to do with our YHDP funding. Similar to that.
Community plan.
Yes, the coordinated community plan. That's not the name, but in essence, that's sort of what we have to put together as a community. And there will be a large emphasis on developing a document that includes a lot of data that's specific to that population in our community. So more to come on that. We are really excited about it. And once October 3rd comes, we will likely be putting out a press release and getting those activities going. So thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. We're getting close to the top of the hour here, so we want to. Okay, so informational items, committee reports are referenced there. I was sad, boo, no letters of support were requested. We like to see you guys send those. Michelle and I love to sign those because we get to cheer you on and hope that we can get more resources in. So don't forget, if you're writing a grant, you need a letter of support, please send it to us. And then there's the annual performance reports that have been uploaded for your review. Let's go to the next agenda item. Any call for agenda items for the next meeting in October? Anybody? If you don't have anything right now, you know how you can make suggestions to us at the coc@rivco.org email. So we're always open to ideas and requests. Sonia, did you have a suggestion?
I do. Remember, there was a interest that went out for the Prop 47 committee, and we were asked to basically sign up for it or show interest by responding.
Oh,
so I
yes,
responded,
yes.
but have we done that? I haven't seen anything come through, and I know we get like a lot of
Not
emails.
yet.
Not yet, right? Okay,
Not
just want to
yet.
make sure I'm
No,
on top of it.
we included you in our application as part of our group, but once we get
Wonderful.
official, then we'll start reaching out to everyone.
Fantastic. No worries. That was it. Thank you.
Great question. Okay, let's go ahead and move to the next agenda item. So before I turn it over for the rest of you to make an announcement, I wanted to let you know that I will be sending you all an email. Tanya and I have had a chat. We love to do what we can to bring you all together face to face, to break bread together, to have a face-to-face meeting, and maybe play some fun games, have some acknowledgements. So we're looking to do that again in November at the November 20th Continuum of Care meeting. The City of Corona will be hosting it and hosting lunch for all of you. We'll probably do something similar to what we did before with Panera box lunches, but just know if there's some of you that cannot come to the meeting in person, we will still make sure to have the opportunity for you to participate remotely. But it's really nice to be able to see each other face to face. The last time we did it, everybody got so much out of it. So anyways, just be looking for that, but just remember the November 20th Continuum of Care meeting will be in person. Any other announcements from anybody else? Angelina.
Hi, sorry about that. I couldn't unmute there for a second. I just wanted to share that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Shelter from the Storm, in lieu of doing in-person events and spending money to do that, we are doing everything online and virtually. We are asking everyone to wear purple on Thursdays in support of survivors, and for those that didn't make it, just showing your alliance that you believe survivors need to be heard, have a voice, and be represented in our communities. So we will be wearing purple on Thursdays in October. Purple is the color of empowerment, reassurance, and bravery, and that is our color for awareness. We are also doing Challenge 100. It is a new campaign we're doing on social media. We're asking people to donate $100 in support of 100 reasons why we should support and care for our victims of crime, especially domestic violence victims in our community. And I have already sent out the flyers and the information to the COC, and they will send it out to everyone, so you'll have it as well. And we would like people to go on social media and just share a reason why they should be supporting committees and activities like this and believing survivors. And one of the reasons that somebody said to me already is because it ends with me. We need to break the cycle of domestic violence. We need to break the cycle of violence in our community, and we need to be a voice for those that need it the most. So if you want to join in on Challenge 100, hit your hashtags, post your selfies, and really just support us. We need the support. We need to let people know that we're here, we exist, and that we believe them. So thank you for allowing me to share that.
Angelina, thank you for the important work that you do. I've heard it said, hurt people hurt people. And so I really like what you said about breaking the cycle, because just like we talk about trauma-informed care and why people do, the cycles of homelessness is the same thing. We think about the victim, but we know there's a reason behind for the abuser as well. So such important work. Thank you for the announcement and the great work that you do. Gershon, did you have an announcement?
Yes, I do. Hi, hello everyone. Good afternoon. It's good to see everyone. I just wanted to announce that Operation Safe House will be having a community resource event on October 17th from 5 to 8 p.m. And it is open to the public. It's open to the community. It's all ages. And the event will be held at their Hayes Street location on the basketball courts. I wanted to announce that the YAB members will be tabling at this event. So if you plan on attending, feel free to stop by and chat with them. And, you can leave with a cool knickknack of some sort. Some other activities that they have will be trunk or treat, face painting, and balloon twister. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds fun. And if you are a service provider that is interested in tabling at this event, you can reach out to Rainbow Marler. I don't know if Rainbow's in this meeting, but if not, I will be sharing the flyer through our COC email shortly, and I'll also include the vendor form on there as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That sounds like a lot of fun. You might have to tell us how that Twister game goes. I'm curious to know. Are you going to be there to participate and lead that event, that effort on the Twister?
No, but yeah, I will be.
I'm just teasing you, Gershon. Emma, did you have a couple comments?
Yeah, just one. I wanted to remind everyone, I forgot to do this during my section, so apologies, that we have our special Board of Governance meeting on Thursday next week, and the city of Murrieta will be hosting us. So thank you so much to the city. And also, since it's on a Thursday, put in a plug for Angelina and Wear Purple. So if you're a BOG member, you plan to be there, wear your purple. We will be at the city of Murrieta.
Good reminder. Okay, anybody else? Okay, let's advance to the next slide. Okay, everybody, good job. Thanks for hanging in there. It's nice to see we have 86 people. I'm trying to remember what we had at the top of the hour. It was a whole lot, but thank you to those of you that hung in through the meeting. There's the slide for all of the upcoming meetings. Keep doing the amazing, great work that you do. We appreciate you, and we will see you soon. Take care.
And Madam Chair, you had 119 people on this call.
Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Great.
Okay, you guys, take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Have a good day.